So I'm just going to give a quick introduction about who am I and what I represent here. So yes, my name is Gibson Sgalke, and I am the presenter of this webinar today. I have done a couple of these webinars, so some of you might actually find this kind of familiar, but I'll just give it a twist to relate to the new administration that we're going to have now, right? So yes, my name is Gibson Sgalka. I came to the US as a student, and I pursued a master's in global management program. I then incorporated my companies while I was still a student, and then used those companies to get an Eb2 Niw case approved. And I did the expedited process or the premium process, and my case was approved in 4 days, right, of submission, which was great. Some of the things that I'm also doing here in the United States of America, I spearheaded the creation of the proposed ZIM Family Credit Union. When we are actually working on this project right now, it is actually going very, very smoothly, and we are looking forward to have a success story in that proposed credit union project. I also do help people to migrate to the USA through the F1 visa process, just like I did. But concerning this webinar, I do help people to also pursue the Eb2 Niw green card pathway. So I think that's the reason why you are here right now, right? And if you've got some friends, just invite them to join this webinar right now. Just call them and say, hey, the webinar have started, because I want people to ask questions. That helps me a lot in helping other people in the future, all right? So what is the Eb2 Niw green card pathway? So this is a very different pathway to get a green card from what a lot of people would actually understand. This is not an H-1B pathway. So a lot of people, the way they understand the immigration, the American immigration, is if you come to America as a student, you then go on OPT, which is usually 1 year, right? If you are a STEM degree, then it is going to be 1 year plus 2 years extended, which becomes the OPT STEM, right? So that's something like 3 years. And that's exactly what people really understand usually. And then while it's you're on OPT or OPT extension, STEM extension, you then do H-1B. Then the H-1B can then give you a pathway to a green card. This is the normal thing that a lot of people do really understand and do pursue, okay? Now, the Eb2 Niw pathway is not dependent on any of those pathways that I've mentioned. It is not dependent on the fact that you're a student. It is not dependent on any other status except the fact that you are considered to be a person of exceptional ability, right? And then that can come in various ways, in different ways, including being an academia, a researcher, or things like that, right? But you can actually do this. Let's say, for example, you come to America as an F1 student, you already have a master's, you have an MBA, you can actually start to do an Eb2 Niw green card pathway application while it's just a student. Let's assume that you're not even a student, you're just here in the USA and you have your master's in business administration. You can actually work towards getting a green card through the Eb2 Niw green card pathway. So this is a pathway that is not connected to being a student. It is not connected to be an asylum seeker. It is not connected to any other way. It's a different pathway that comes on its own way, right? And in these categories of the EBs, there are a lot of types of green cards, right? Eb2 is actually the second preference. There is the Eb1, which is the first preference, right? I will speak about the Eb1 one day. It is more stricter, more difficult to get, but faster as compared to the Eb2 Niw, right? The Eb2 Niw also is different from the Eb2 that you get when you are being sponsored by a company. Now, the Eb2 Niw is a visa that you get when there is no company which is sponsoring you. You're just sponsoring yourself. You're writing a petition and you are asking them to actually give you a green card based on the fact that you are special, not based on the fact that you are employed at that point in time, okay? So you don't need a company to be to apply for the Eb2 Niw green card pathway. So I hope that is clear. This green card type is not attached to all those other things. It's not attached to education. Though your education will help you get it, it's not attached to employment. Though employment might help you to get it, You don't need an employer. You don't need a sponsor for you to go through this process. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Let me go to the next slide. So now let's talk about the eligibility for the Eb2 Niw. Where do you get this information? Like, how do you know about the eligibility? So this is a very important website that you have to visit. The easiest way to get to this website is just to Google Eb2 Niw USCIS, like I showed on the screen right now. And if you just do that, the first website that actually pops up, you just click that one, you will get a lot of information about the Eb2 Niw green card pathway, right? But that website, if you click it, you can also then go ahead to the next page, which will take you to this page, right? And a lot of people get confused with this page. A lot of people think they need to meet the requirements of both the two subcategories, right? The subcategories which are here, right? So people think they need to meet the advanced degree part of the category. They also think they need to meet the exceptional ability part of the category. Now, let me be clear here. If you do have a master's degree and you're using that master's degree to apply for the Eb2 Niw green card pathway, then you just need to focus on the first section, which I ticked with green here or marked with green here, which is called the advanced degree. And that section also includes people with bachelor's degrees and 5 years or more of relevant working experience. So if you don't have a master's, but you have a bachelor's degree, that bachelor's degree plus 5 years of working experience in the relevant field can be considered as a master's degree. So you will qualify under the advanced degree subcategory of this employment-based Eb2 second preference green card pathway, okay? So this is the first thing that they look at. They just look, are you eligible to apply, right? Eligibility to apply, not necessarily that you're qualified. It is just the eligibility to apply. So if you can pass this part, now you are considered to be eligible to apply. Then they'll start to look at other things that I'm going to discuss in the oncoming slides. So this is the primary thing that you need to make sure that you qualify. You are eligible, you do have a master's degree, or you do have bachelor's degree plus 5 years of working experience, right? Okay, and so basically to summarize what you need to look at, you should look at something like this, right? To actually see if you qualify for this. Either you have a PhD or you have a master's degree or you have a bachelor's plus 5 years of working experience. If you don't have all of the above, you can actually use what we call exceptional ability. Now, exceptional ability just means you are somebody who is unique. You might not have a degree, you might not have anything, but there are things that they consider, especially if you look on that website, that they can consider to be things of exceptional ability. But I want to major mainly on the people with PhDs, people with master's degrees, people with bachelor's degrees plus 5 years of working experience, because those are the lot of people that I do meet when I'm helping people about green cards. All right, so if you can meet those two, now we go to the next important thing, which is now coming up with what they call a proposed endeavor. A proposed endeavor now is a story that you're telling them, and you are telling them, you know what, my name is Gibson. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, I've already done X, Y, Z, and in the past, I also did A, B, C, D. So I think I'm qualified to actually get a national interest waiver if I'm doing this Eb2 application. That's what you're trying to tell them. So your story has to be a compelling story. Basically, you need to present a project, okay? So if you see on the slide right now, I did put a project. You need to project that, say, hey, I do have a project that I'm working on, and this project is going to benefit the United States of America with its people. And then you have to use your experience and your education to support the fact that that project, you are able to do it, and most likely it is going to be successful. So that project also at the same time is part of your future plans. So this green card is approved on the basis of your future plans or on the basis of your projected future plans. But to support those projected future plans, you need to provide some education, you need to provide some experience that is relevant to the projected future plans that you are pitching. So this is the most difficult part. Coming up with a proposed endeavor, that is the most difficult part in the process of applying for the Eb2 Niw green card pathway. So let's look more about this So now we look at an issue on this proposed endeavor on the matter of Danasa. So Danasa is a person. Danasa is a person who did apply for the Eb2 Niw and he was denied. And then he went to court and sued the American government. And then the court actually awarded a determination that he was supposed to be actually given the green card based on his case. So his case then became a precedence. Okay, it became a precedence at which many other cases or all the cases right now are actually being judged based on. So we are judged based on the matter of Danasa. You can read more if you just Google about matter of Danasa. You will find free information on internet about the matter of Danasa. But what the matter of Danasa brings us to, it actually brings us to the framework at which after they have seen that you have a master's degree, you qualify, you are eligible, now they are looking at your case. They are now checking your proposed endeavor. Does the proposed endeavor meet the minimum requirements for the case to be approved? At that point in time now, they are looking at the 3 prongs. And the first prong is they are checking if your proposed endeavor has what they call substantial merit and national importance. And then the second prong is they're checking if you, the petitioner, you are well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. And then the third part is now they're saying, is it really worth it that on balance, it will be beneficial to the United States to waive the job offer to you? Remember, when you're doing other green card application, either Eb3 or Eb2 without an Niw, you go through what they call the permanent labor certification process, where they actually check if your qualifications and expertise is in short supply and you are actually needed to be employed here in the United States of America. So now, if you are doing the Eb2 Niw, you are actually jumping that queue. You are jumping that process. Now, so they checked that. That is actually the most important thing that they're actually doing to check if it will benefit the United States of America if they waive the job offer requirement on your case. So these are the 3 prongs that they use to judge you. So if you look at this streamlined diagram on the screen right now, first of all, they talk about the eligibility. Do you have a master's degree or are you a person of exceptional ability? If you tick that box, then they look at your proposed endeavor and they look at your proposed endeavor using the matter of Danasa 3 prongs framework. So that's how it works. So let's look into the matter of Danasa 3 prongs in a detailed way. So the first prong is very straightforward, but very complicated. It is the most difficult part of the application to prove, okay? Very difficult. So they are looking at what they call substantial merit and national importance. So it is easier for you to show substantial merit. Substantial merit just means that you're doing a job that is meaningful. Like if you are doing something that will benefit the society, that is of substantial merit. If you are doing something that will reduce the cost of production, that is considered to be of substantial merit. If you're going to, let's say, even just build something like you're making shoes, that is of substantial merit because you're actually doing something that is of substance. So it is very easy to prove substantial merit, but it is very difficult to prove national importance because national importance now means that there is a direct expected impact from your specific endeavor that will be of national level in the United States of America, right? So that comes in different ways. This can be geographical. Whatever you're doing, is it going to impact the United States of America from a geographical perspective? How many states are you going to affect with whatever you're doing? That can be looked in that way. So for example, if you're going to build houses in 20 states, cheaper houses for people to actually habitate, then that can be considered a project of national importance because you're affecting 20 states and you're building houses for people. That is actually considered to be something of national importance. But it is difficult to prove national importance if you are only building 2 houses or 10 houses in New York alone. That might not be something considered of national importance. Okay, but they also look at the national importance from a broader impact perspective. For example, if you're going to discover a medicine that is going to treat cancer, that doesn't matter whether you're discovering this medicine while you're in California or Arizona, because the medicine is going to be used nationally. So that research that you have done on that medication is going to be considered to be of national importance. For example, if you come up with a formula to maybe distill or extract oil, it's just a formula that you've come up with. You haven't even done anything with it, but there is a formula which is scientifically proven that is going to work. Though it is a single paper that you are just writing and publishing, that research, it is going to be considered to be of broader impact. Therefore, it is going to be considered of national importance. So national importance is both sometimes geographical and sometimes just the broader impact that they are looking at. But it's very difficult to actually prove that. But this is what basically it means. So which areas? The website from the USCIS mentions that this endeavor can be under a range of areas like business, entrepreneurship, science, technology, culture, health, and education. These are the broader umbrella subjects or core terms that you can use when you are trying to come up with an endeavor, okay? All right, so, but for you to determine whether your endeavor is of national importance or does it have substantial merit, you can actually use congress.gov, you can also use whitehouse.gov. Now, this is very important what I'm saying now. Even if you don't have an endeavor right now, but in the future you want to create an endeavor, you can actually start by looking at areas that congress.gov are concerned about, areas that the whitehouse.gov is concerned about. And then you start to work around your endeavor from the areas that you're already seeing that they think are areas of national importance. That's exactly how you should be building your endeavor. That will make it easier for you to come up with a meaningful endeavor that will receive what they call national importance requirement and meet it. Okay, so the second prong basically just looks at you. It is focusing on you. Now they're asking a question. If you are meeting national importance in the endeavors of substantial merit, in the second prong, they're looking at you, the petitioner, and say, but are you able to achieve this? Are you experienced enough to achieve this? So they look at a lot of things. First of all, they can look at things like, are you well positioned to, in fact, this endeavor is called well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. This prong is called well positioned to advance the proposed endeavor. So they look at your education, they look at your experience, they look at your knowledge, and then they look at your history, the record of successes that you have done, right? And they also look at the plan that you do have as a person or as a business that you are saying, I'm going to execute in the next 3 years or 5 years. They also look at things like, is there interest in whatever you're doing from people of repute? The professors, are they writing papers with you? People at universities, if you are a researcher, are they quoting or citing your work that you are writing and putting down? If you are a business, are there customers interested in this? Have you raised capital from any reputable venture capitalists? Have you raised capital from any reputable, maybe incubators? Have you raised capital from any government institutes? Is the government really interested in what you're doing? So all these things, that's what they're looking at. They're looking for evidence of these things. So don't just write a story and then there is no support of all or some of these things that I'm mentioning here. This is what they call evidence. Right? They want you to submit papers which are supporting exactly what you're doing. If you're going to do an application on mental health and you say, I am helping 2,000 people, and then you can prove that already on your application of mental health, there are 2,000 people. Already, this shows that you are well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. Okay? So that evidence will make you pass second prong, which is prong number 2, which is actually focusing on you. Let's go to prong number 3. Prong number 3, basically, if you can meet prong 1 and prong 2, naturally you will meet prong number 3, because prong number 3 now is the actual prong that is saying, is it beneficial to give this guy a green card without going through labor certification process? So mainly you can argue a lot of things here. If your prong number 1 and prong number 2 are well structured, prong number 3 is very easy to write. For example, if you're an entrepreneur, you can just argue that I am an entrepreneur, so no one is willing to employ me to do the job that I am doing in my company. No one is willing to employ me to work in my company, right? So by that nature, you argue that I should be given a green card so that I can work in my company, okay? You can also argue if you are coming up with, let's say, a groundbreaking research in a certain area, you can also argue and say the work that I'm doing is so imminent, it's very necessary, it's very important, and then people are really in need of this. So there is timing that is needed, or there is a constraint of time in me doing whatever I'm doing. So you can argue about that, and they can give you a green card also at the same time. Based on that. Okay, so problem number 3 is not really very difficult to prove. So let's go to the areas of interest. Areas of interest now. So this is the most important part, and this is why I'm doing this webinar now, actually. Areas of interest are very important in the sense that they are shifting now because we are going to be having a new president and a new administration. But in general, areas of interest are focused on business, entrepreneurship, science, technology, culture, health, and education. Those are the areas of interest, right? But in the past, during Biden's administration, things to do with women, with financial inclusion, diversity, entrepreneurship might maintain, but sustainability, climate change, and even the BIPOC populations, these things right now, as we're going into the new administration, might actually change. So if your case that you were planning to submit is based on the issue of these things, diversity and inclusion, sustainability, climate change, I think if you can submit it now and get a determination, that is if you can afford the premium processing of about 3,500, then you might stand a better chance to get your case approved right now before January 20. We're not sure what is going to happen in the future. But let's go forward and say the shift is actually coming. And I've just jotted down some of the things that people should be expecting right now as the shift is coming. And these things might actually help you to think through the process as the shift might be coming. So those who are on asylum, those who have asylum seekers, whatever country that you're coming from, this is going to be a big deal. I think that administration that is coming is going to have a faster processing on the asylum seekers. But I think the approval rates can be very low compared to the current administration. So right now, it was taking very long for the cases to be heard. I think after January 20, the cases will move faster. During this current administration, a lot of cases were being approved. I think going into the new administration, the rate of cases which are going to be approved is going to be lower as compared to the current administration. And we don't know when this is going to be, implemented or executed, or if it is ever going to be executed or implemented. It might never happen. Okay, but just by looking at things that are happening right now and the statements that are going through, I think this is what is going to happen. So if you can start the Eb2 Niw green card process earlier and faster, that will be better for you to maybe be in a better position when things start to change, maybe 2 years from today, okay? What about the Eb2 Niw green card processes? So during Trump's administration, the Eb2 Niw green card process was very slow, and it was taking a lot of time in terms of processing times, right? It was taking a lot of time, maybe an average of 10 months, 12 months, going upwards. And the Eb2 Niw application review was stricter. So we are also expecting right now that the people who are going to be reviewing these cases are going to be very strict. They are going to increase scrutiny, especially on the issues where you are asked to demonstrate national importance, okay? But also the good part is if the president is going to honor his campaign promise where he wanted to give every student a green card, then maybe you will also be, instructive to bring some lenience and less stricter rules when the Eb2 Niw applications are being reviewed. We don't know, but if he is going to keep his promises on trying to issue green cards to all students, most likely even the Eb2 Niw green card process is going to be way much less stricter, but we're yet to see exactly what is going to happen, right? All these are projections. But on constructing your case now, your Eb2 Niw application, your endeavor on constructing your proposed endeavor, it is very important to fully understand and accept the fact that the areas of national importance are going to shift drastically. They are going to shift, okay? So if your endeavor was actually focused on sustainability, now it depends with which area exactly of sustainability are you talking about or focusing on. I think cases to do with sustainability will stand less chances to be approved after January 20 because the administration would have changed. Now you cannot even quote and say the current administration is focused on sustainability because the acts and bills that you do have, they're coming from the Biden-Harris administration. They will not be the Trump-Vance administration. So those quotes that you'll be doing, they will not be relevant to the current administration in the office. You see? So that's how things start to change now. A lot of things that Biden and Harris were doing and were recorded in the White House papers, they were recorded anywhere else, where the White House newsletters were White House news was released, those quotations now do not work. Remember, whenever you're doing this, you need to quote the Congress, you need to quote the White House, okay? And the Congress now is predominantly the Republican Party, and it is aligned together with the Presidium, which is Trump and Vance, and the House, again, is aligned to the President. So President Trump right now has a full mandate. He has a full mandate. So some of the things that you would have quoted and say, oh, the Congress was thinking of doing this, so my case is of national importance, might not work now. So you really need to know what exactly is happening in the current administration to pitch yourself as if you are putting forward a proposed endeavor that is supporting the national interests of the current administration. So just to mention some areas, I think areas to do with sustainability. We're not sure about renewables, right? Renewables will always be a priority. Elon Musk is also part of the Trump administration, which is a good thing. So we think renewables, if they are aligned to something we do with EVs and things like that, they might have a soft spot, and they might get approved easily. But sustainability in general, things to do with climate change, we're not sure about that. Areas also to do with, female reproductive rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion. These cases might not really stand a chance to be approved going forward after January 20. Okay, because if you're going to quote this, you're going to use the Biden-Harris administration, and that's not the administration that we do have after January 20. So your case will not hold some water, it will not hold some validity if you're going to use those materials which were under Biden and Harris administration. So you really need now to look at the cases that are coming up, the cases that are very important for the administration that is in charge. So this is not something to complain about. It's not something to cry about. It is something to observe and then act accordingly. So that's the most important thing that you need to do. So how do you do that? If you're not going to submit your application before, let's say in December, and you're not doing expedited processing, I think you need to pay close attention to the congress.gov website and also to the whitehouse.gov website to see what Trump is saying, what Vance is saying, what the Congress is saying, and what bills are being approved. And then you try to align your proposed endeavor to what the current administration is talking about and is prioritizing. And this is real, and this is how these cases go through. You have to provide evidence from the congress.gov, you have to provide evidence from the whitehouse.gov that the current administration is actually interested in whatever you are doing, right? So make sure you're checking those websites. All right, so I'll be checking some questions. If you've got some questions, just send them through, okay? If you've got some questions, send them through. Maybe just like our the live session, are you able to just like the live session and also subscribe to our channel, please? If you can subscribe to our channel, that will help us a lot. That will give the algorithm a good shot on promoting our channel. May you subscribe on our channel. Okay, so now if you've never heard me talk about the green card pathway, this is a very important section that I'm getting into right now. This is the section where you need to do what we call self-reflection, where you need to build a profile or you already have a profile. So some individuals already do have the evidence, What you need to do is just to gather the evidence and write your story, write your proposed endeavor, and then submit the application. But some individuals, you're hearing this for the first time, or you've never heard about this, or even if you have heard it before, but you don't have a case, you don't have a story. It's not something that you should not complain about also. Okay, I have to be clear about this. It's about learning what is needed and then creating a story based on the facts that you've learned. So a lot of people just look at this thing and say, oh, I don't qualify. Why? I don't think I've got a story that is meaningful. But that's not how you should be looking at these things. You should be looking at these things in this way. What is it that is needed for me to actually bring out a proposed endeavor that can be approved? That's what you should be asking yourself. And then you say, can I do those things? Am I able to execute those things? What time period do I need to execute the things that are necessary for me to get a green card, that are necessary for me to get approved? And then you work on those things. And there are a lot of literature, a lot of help that can help you build a profile. So I'll just mention some of the things that you can do to actually build your profile from scratch, depending with where you are, okay? First of all, some of you right now, you're working. Let's say, for example, you're working in IT. You can actually maybe further your education through a master's program, or you can further your education through certifications. You can actually decide to say, you know what, I'm not going to do cybersecurity, because you know cybersecurity is an issue of national importance. Once you have a master's in cybersecurity and you're working a job in cybersecurity, you are going to get a very strong case that most likely 95% chances of the time it is going to be approved. So maybe you say, you know what, I want to do this master's in cybersecurity for the next 1 year. While I'm doing that, I am preparing to send my Eb2 Niw green card application. Okay? And a lot of people think, you know, 1 year is too long to do this, or 2 years is too long. It's not. Let me tell you, it's not. Time flies. Time moves so fast. You have to be doing something about your green card experience at any given time. You have to be doing something. There is something that you should be working on about your green card experience if you are in the United States of America, or if you're planning to come to the United States of America. Okay, so professional experience also, these are contributions that you are doing at your work. So for example, at your work, instead of just remaining in the Kakule and closed down, you can take some other projects so that you can use the experience in that project to prove when you are doing your Eb2 Niw to say, hey, I worked on this project and I was part of this team and I know how to do these projects, okay? Maybe you are doing a PhD, or you're even doing a master's in a certain area. You can start to publish articles, right? You can publish articles in your local newspapers, like those state-based local newspapers. You can write research papers with your professors, okay? You can even write chapters in books and journals and on platforms, just to make sure that you are demonstrating leadership and expertise in your area of expertise. These are things that you can plan to do. You can actually say, I want to run 4 articles or 3 articles in the next 6 months or 9 months or something like that. You can actually plan to do this and execute this. You can even plan to do it and find people who can help you, people who show you how to do it, and then you do it, right? So these are some of the things that you can do to build your profile from scratch. You can also join professional organizations, and they have memberships in those professional organizations, right? Now, the first and most important thing is actually sometimes just to clearly focus and say, what endeavor can I actually do which is in the national importance? So maybe you're actually doing right now, you're just teaching mathematics, okay? So if you put your application and say, I am a teacher of mathematics, they're not going to give you an approval on your case, right? They will tell you, no, we cannot give you this. So your question now is, how can I turn whatever I'm doing to meet the national importance requirement? Now you're thinking, what are you going to do? Maybe now you open something online where you are bringing students from different states together and you make them do mathematics competitions. Once you've got about 200 students coming from different states, now whatever you're doing, it is of national importance. And because you're teaching mathematics, you're doing competitions in mathematics, mathematics is considered to be a STEM subject. Now, because you are geographically spread over maybe 20 states, 30 states, and you're doing something with mathematics, that can be argued as something of national importance. So I'm just giving you some ways of thinking here, what you can think and what you can do. So evidence of impact also can come through letters of recommendation, right? You need strong letters of recommendation from experts, from your colleagues, from your bosses, and a lot of things, right? You always need letters of recommendation to actually show that whatever you're doing, you know what you know your staff, okay? And even documented impact also, testimonials from customers, case studies from customers, for example. So also past experiences, they're very important. Public and community engagement, very important. You can do public speaking, and then you take those photos. You can also actually be featured on podcasts, important podcasts in your field, and you can use that information to say, hey, look, I was actually invited on this podcast and I was speaking about my subject and a lot of other things, all right? If you have got an entrepreneurial instinct, you can actually start a company. Start a company in an area of national interest. That's exactly what I did. You start a company in the area of national interest, and you use that company actually to apply for a green card. Okay, so let's just quickly look at the application process right now. The application process, basically the application process is in two parts. So once you have found your proposed endeavor, you then fill in a form called I-140 and you put it together with your story. You write your story. There's a lot of things that you can do. But once you do that, then you go to if you submit it, if they approve it, then you go through a process of filling in a form called I-485, where they will issue a physical green card. Okay, so how much money do you need right now to file in your I-140? Is costing $715 plus $300. Okay, $300 is another fee which came recently because the government wanted to support the asylum seekers process of adjudicating those cases. So you pay $715 plus $300. Okay. If you want it to be expedited so that you can get your response within an average of 15 days, right? Which is 3 days to 45 days. You can pay an extra $2,800. So let's say, for example, you already have a case right now, and you believe, you know what, the Biden administration believes in your case. Right now, if you pay an extra $2,800, your case can be reviewed in the next 10 days or less. All right. But overall, the whole process, the green card process, from the day you have put in an application to the day that you're going to receive a physical green card, that might take from 6 months to 2 years, right? Depending with what is happening on the issuance of green cards. Right now, we are actually experiencing what we call retrogression in the issuance of green cards. So a lot of people are going to wait for more than 12 months. A lot of people are going to wait after your case here has been submitted. You might wait for about 12 months to actually get a green card, or even 1 year, 3 months to actually get a green card, the physical green card to you. We don't know if the retrogression is going to continue during Trump's administration. Then maybe it will take up to 2 years actually to get the green card come to you. But the good thing about this thing is, if you can expedite the process of the application, they can give you a response and say, we have approved your application in maybe 4 days, maybe in 10 days. So now you can stay with the peace of mind, knowing that your case has been approved. And then you can remain on other statuses. Maybe you're already an asylum seeker, you can remain there. Maybe you are on F1 visa and you were doing OPT and you were doing STEM extension. So if you can do those STEM extension, OPT plus 2 years of STEM extension, now you can actually wait for those. You can wait within those 1 year to 3 years and get a green card during that period of time. Okay, because within maybe 12 months, they would have issued you a green card. But this is the overall process. You can ask a lot of questions in the chat and I'll be addressing them. Okay, so should you use a lawyer or not? And so myself, I didn't use a lawyer, I just wrote my case by myself. If you have money, you can actually employ a lawyer, but if you don't have money, you can actually just write the case by yourself, right? So I will just really quickly run down my case, how I projected my case here, so that some people can actually know. So I'll try to answer the 3 prong as I go forward, right? But first of all, eligibility. Was I eligible for the Eb2 Niw green card pathway? Yes. How did I prove it? I produced my degree, my master's degree in global management, right? That I had done. And that's how I proved that I'm eligible to actually apply for this, all right? Then my endeavor was entrepreneurial, okay? I had started 2 companies One of them was focused on entrepreneurship and supporting the social and economically disadvantaged individuals who are trying to start businesses or buy businesses. The other one was based on remittances and reducing the cost of remittances. And all these companies are functional, by the way. I'm still working on them. And that was my endeavor. So my areas here, the remittances and reducing the cost of remittances is an issue of area. It's an area of national importance. And also supporting people who are social and economic disadvantages is an area of national importance, especially if you're supporting them to do business. Okay, so this is how I was proving that my endeavor is of national importance. So basically, this is how you write your case. You have to mention the issue that you think there is a problem, and then you share how you know that is a problem by quoting an act from the congress.gov or by quoting a White House paper that is talking about that same thing. So in my case here, I'm just telling them, you know what, that promoting entrepreneurship in underserved communities is of national importance. And then I'm quoting the act that is showing that, okay? That is the same thing that I was continuing to do, right? And then I was summarizing the story whenever I do. For example, here I'm telling them, whatever I'm doing with my company called Vasca Ventures is substantial merit as I'm promoting entrepreneurship among the socially and economically disadvantaged individuals in the US, right? And I'm explaining how I am doing that. So this is how you write and prove that your story is of national importance and a substantial merit. Okay, so I'm just taking some pieces for you to see. Now, on prong number 2, was I well positioned to do this? I was well positioned to do this because I had experience. Remember, when I came, I wanted to do things to do startups. I wanted to do things to do with investing into startups. So I worked for a venture capital firm here in Arizona. I have changed the names here though. But so I use that evidence. I use that information to say, hey, look, I've done startup coaching. I have worked for a venture capital firm investing millions of dollars. I know what I'm talking about. And I was using that as experience, right? I also used my degree that I've just acquired. I also used my previous experience in my country where I was doing companies, starting companies, and I was successful with that. So that's how you prove the fact that you are well positioned. Okay, so as I said, prong number 3, usually if you can prove prong 1 and 2, prong number 3 is very easy to prove. In my case, I just said I need the job requirement to be waived because I'm an entrepreneur, and it is illogical and impossible for me to secure an employer who will sponsor me to work in my company, right? Okay, so now I've been helping a lot of people to actually do. If you have got questions, I think now you can actually ask those questions. You can actually ask those questions right now. As I continue with this presentation. As I continue with this presentation, you can actually ask questions. I'll be seeing them as you will be asking those questions. Okay. So now I have been working with a lot of people. Some of them I've helped them to write the cases. They have put in their applications. We are waiting for the review. Some of them are still working on the applications. But working with our community, I realized that a lot of people were actually having challenges with making it possible for them to do this process, right? The major issue is the issue of money. So I am changing the way I'm working with people a little bit, and now to address the problem of people who say, I don't have money to do this, because if you don't have money, I'll assume that you have time, right? So now, instead of working with people, coaching them one-on-one, I am actually releasing a course that will be live this coming Wednesday, okay? So that course is going to help a lot of people with different things as far as the process is concerned, okay? So it is going to help a lot of people as we move forward, okay? So if you are here and you're saying, okay, maybe how can I work with you? How can I work with you? I saw someone ask it that, do I review cases? Yes, I do review cases, but I'm just changing the way of reviewing them, right? I will publish in the future how I'm going to be reviewing cases for other people. But right now, I am launching a course that will help you. It's a very detailed case. Of course, I have put everything in it. It will direct you to actually craft your case, come up with everything, and you can write your case by yourself if you want. So that is going to be very easy for you to actually use the course and write your case, right? So the value in the course is going to look like this. This is what you're going to see on the course, right? This is the overview of the course. We'll be showing you everything, how to understand the green card pathway, how do you meet the requirements, the method of dynasty requirements, how do you assess your eligibility and things like that, right? All those things you're going to be having them, and how to write your overview, your cover letters, how to connect the exhibits, right? How to craft your recommendations, all those things, everything that you need to know, how to assemble and submit the application, it will be there, right? So from how to craft, from how to understand what is Eb2 Niw, to how to write the case and how to actually build a profile, and then how to submit the application. And then there will be templates. I will be creating templates and adding templates over and over again. And I'll also be coming back and adding a lot of other things to do with the new administration and their areas of national interest, just to help you do a lot of these things, right? Okay, so if you're interested in working with us in this course is going to be actually have a value of about $1,000 plus, right? And the regular price, though, is not going to be $1,000, right? Because I want to help people without much means. So I am going to put a regular price of $200 on this course, right? So it is going to be priced at $200. But I'm actually making an offer for you today, especially people who are on this webinar, until the next coming 6 days. So only for this week, for today and the next coming 6 days, I'm going to offer this course only for $49. So this is actually money for lunch. This is money for lunch. I mean, if you go out and buy some tacos and some peps, at McDonald's with your family, it will cost you more than $49. I'm sure about that. I'm very much certain about that. So all I'm saying is the value is $1,000. The regular price is going to be $200. But for today and the next 6 days, you can purchase this course at $49, right? At $49. And this is an offer just to make sure that you get started. But the course value is going to be 1,000 plus, because I'm putting a lot of things in that course. And I'm actually offering the first 20 people who are going to sign up, I will review their cases. I will speak with them before they start doing their cases, and I will speak with them during, and maybe most likely review the total course when they are about to submit the case. Okay, so the first 20 people to actually be part of this, I'm going to review them only for $49. So this is $49. So the link to actually join is in the description for the group. It is in the description of the YouTube video. So if you can look at the description of the video, you will see that there is a link there, and that link you can use it to actually connect, right? You can actually use it to connect. Okay, while I'm still talking with you, can you just like and subscribe to our video, just to our YouTube channel? Can you like this video? Can you also subscribe so that you continue to actually get communication from us? Just like this video, and also just subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to have some information coming to you. So the link is in the description. You can actually see the link in the description. I think Panashe also can take the link in the description and post it in the chat for those who want to see it in the chat, right? If you can do that, that will also help. All right. So this is just for now. You can secure a spot right now just for $49. That's actually like 95% off, right? But this is only going to be for the next coming 6 days, today, tomorrow, and for the next coming 6 days. And remember, those people are going to, the first 20 people are going to subscribe. I'm going to then speak with them before they start their cases. And during the period that they start their cases, I'll offer them 2 hours of reviewing their case and speaking with them, right? So I'm also launching this course to reduce the number of hours that I speak with people who always text me about Eb2 Niw issues, asking me questions. So this course is going to help a lot of people, right? When they have good questions, right? When they have good questions. So now I'm going to be answering your questions. I'll be taking questions and answering them. I'll be taking your questions and answering them, right? So the cost right now, the value is $1,000. The regular price will be $200, okay? But just for today and for the next 6 days, especially for those who are in Zim, who say, oh, I need to find a card that I can use to pay through the portal. You can do that within the next coming 5 days, right? That'll be only $49. I'm just doing this to help you, the community, guys. $49 is money for lunch, actually. So it's just trying to help people to have a way, you know, with this. All right. So I'm taking questions now. Let me answer a lot of questions now. So post your questions and someone will be forwarding them to me. So someone is asking and say, for someone in the accounting field, what kind of endeavor can I work on? Yeah, so I cannot tell you what kind of an endeavor. There are a lot you can work on. It just depends with what you research about, what you want to do, and the things that you are also maybe aligned with or your experience, okay? So, yeah, but the course will help you with those kind of things. Like you need to do a little bit of research on congress.gov and research just areas around and say, what can I do? For example, if you're in accounting, there are issues to do with tax, right? Issues to do with tax are issues of national importance. Even issues to do with financial reporting are issues to do with national importance. Auditing, issues to do with national importance. There are a lot of things, right? Supporting small businesses, business consulting. There are a lot of things that you can do. There are issues of national importance. What you just need to do is to say, I'm working on this. So the first thing of say, I'm working on this is actually to understand that I need to find an endeavor. I need to find a story, and I have to follow that story as I go forward. So that's where a lot of people miss it. That's where a lot of people miss it because they think they were supposed to be born with a story. They think they were supposed to come to America with a story. It doesn't work that way. You don't come to America with a story. What happens is you arrive in America and then you realize you need a green card. And then the question is, what can I do to get that green card? And then you say, okay, there's an Eb2 Niw pathway that I can use to get a green card. And then you ask yourself, what can I do under the Eb2 Niw green card pathway that will give me a green card? And then you do that thing. Even when you're doing a master's program, you can actually align your master's program with the Eb2 Niw pathway green card process. That also increases the your employability, the chances of you getting employed, because a lot of things to do with national importance, they are also in demand here in the United States of America. So things to do with cybersecurity, data governance right now, things to do with IT auditing, things to do with entrepreneurship. In the previous administration, things to do with climate change, sustainability. All those issues were issues of national importance. So if you were going to do something along those lines and put an application in, you stand better chance actually to get your case approved. All right. So I'm seeing some people are asking how much are the costs. Maybe they are not seeing the screen, but the screen now is showing that. Yeah, so just click that screen, go on the website and make a payment. It's just $49. This is about 95% off of the total value of this course. And I know this course is going to help you. We're going to launch it live this coming week on Wednesday. And we're going to continue promoting it, continue to improve it, continue to add information to it. And it is going to be foundational, and it's going to be a very core material, as we do help a lot of people to get green cards here in the United States of America, especially people who come as in students, people who come in as professionals in different ways. Yeah. And before you leave, guys, just subscribe to our channel. Just subscribe to our channel so that you'll be informed about the issues that we talk about on our channel. Okay. Just subscribe on our channel. Just subscribe on our channel. I'm still waiting for questions. If we do have questions, I'm still waiting for questions. If you have questions, you can actually pitch them in so that we can answer them. Someone is asking, say, what is the first thing that I should do if I came and applied for asylum and now I want to go for the Eb2 Niw? There is nothing that you really, which is special about the fact that you're an asylum seeker, okay? Eb2 Niw is a different pathway that is different from asylum seeker procedure. The asylum seeker procedure, basically what it does is it protects you from being deported. That's what it all does, right? And you get work authorization. So you start to work. But when you're applying now for the Eb2 Niw, that has nothing to do with, are you an asylum seeker? Are you an F1 student? Are you an H1B? What are you? It does nothing to do with that. It's just you sending in an application. If you are qualifying, they don't care whether you are an H1B, whether you are an asylum seeker. They do not even care whether you are an OPT. They don't care whether you're even in Africa, in Zimbabwe, for example. They don't care whether you're in Nigeria. They don't care wherever you are. They care about looking at your case and then just adjudicating your case. And if you qualify, then that will be it. Someone is asking, when will I know if I am in the first 20 who got the discount? As soon as possible, maybe today, most likely today, because I see a lot of people are clicking in right now. So most likely today, you will know that you are part of the first 20. Okay. At what point during application does one need to submit the letters of recommendation? Okay, so this question is it's a bit of not misplaced, but the application that you're talking about, the recommendations that you need for the applications are still part of the application, right? They're still part of the application. So, okay. Okay. So continue asking questions. I'm actually going to be right now reviewing your answering your questions. I'll be answering your questions. All right, continue to ask your questions. I think I'm seeing a lot of them now. So yeah, I'm saying the letters of recommendations is part of the war process, and the course will help you with this. Like, it's not like, oh, recommendations this, recommendations that. Okay, it's the totality of all things that you are submitting. So the day you say I'm submitting the application, everything that we're talking about should be in the application. Everything that we're talking about should be in the application. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay. If I have a research, someone is saying, if I have an endeavor, which is at research stage aligned with national importance, but not yet tested, will it be okay? Yeah, so research, it doesn't mean that it's tested. Research, right, comes in different ways. So you can actually just research stuff and present them. Now, it's a case-by-case scenario that they look at. The most important thing is the area in a subject or considered to be part of national interest, you see. So that's what they look at. They look at that issue of national interest. How long does it take to get approved for an EB2 if you have an employer? Okay, so if you're doing employer-based EB2, that takes long. That takes long, right? Because you need to go through the PAM certification, which can take 1.5 years by its own self. And then you need to add the other time that they will adjudicate your case, right? But the EB2 NIW, I'm not doing employer-based. I'm not helping you to do an employer-sponsored green card pathway. I'm helping you to do non-employer based. This is EB2 NIW, right? EB2 NIW. That NIW means national interest waiver. So you are waived from all these other cases as we are going forward. You are waived as you do the application from the PEM certification. Do you have an employer and things like that? That's not considered. That's not considered. Someone is asking, do I send my case on email or send it in document format like a thesis? Yeah, it's like a thesis. It's like a thesis. Someone is asking for the $49. Okay, so the $49, listen to this. $49, if you pay $49 right now in the next 5 days or today, you're going to have access to the course for the next 12 months. Okay, this is for the next 12 months. $49 for the next 12 months, you'll be having access to the course. And then if you want to renew, maybe you haven't submitted and you want to continue lane, at that point in time again, you will pay a new fee that will be at that time. But right now, $45, $49 is for the war access. It's not a lecture, it's a course. This course is very long. It's going to be improved every time. I'll be improving the course every time, right? Improving the case every time. And here and there, I'll also be holding live sessions with you as a group, talking with people who are in the course, and we'll be reviewing some people's cases, cases of interest. We just pick a case that is of interest and then we review it. So this $49 is covering a lot. It's covering a lot. It's covering 12 months, the next 12 months. So thank you for asking that question. Thank you for asking that question. So someone is asking, where is the link? So the link is in the description. The link is in the description. The link is in the description of this video. So just click the description of this video and you will see it, right? Okay. I think I've answered all the questions that I'm seeing you right now. I think I've answered all the questions that okay, there's another question here. Please kindly clarify on the special price offer. This will cover the class going live on the 27th and reviewing of the application in all 3 prongs by yourself. No, this is not covering me reviewing your case. It's not covering me reviewing your case. This is an on-demand course that you will be part of, that you will be going through, right? But for the first 20 people that are going to apply, for the first 20 people, I will give them 2 hours of consultation, okay? I will review their cases at the beginning, and I'll also review their cases somewhere in the middle or at the end, okay? But the $49 is just for the on-demand course that I'm actually putting out there. It will help you. It's self-explanatory, right? But I'll also hold some live webinars here and there just to help people who are in the what do you call it, in the course, okay? Yeah. Thank you for asking that question too. Thank you everybody for asking those questions. Okay. Yeah, so you can start your green card journey on a price of a lunch, right? On a price for a meal, $49. You can start your journey right now, especially if you're a student, right? If you have got friends who are students, refer them to this link, let them enroll because it will help them to structure their their degrees. It will help them to structure the way they're looking for work. It will help them structure a lot of things because now they are focused on getting a green card and getting a job at the same time. At the same time. All right. All right. So if you haven't given us some love, something like this, can you do that, please? Something like this, can you do that? And also subscribe to our channel, guys. All of you, can you subscribe to our channel? That will also help you to get notified when we're doing live sessions. It will help you also to get notified when we release some important information. Also, at the same time, it will help you to actually get the information that you need. But at the same time, we also get some good reputation with YouTube, right? When we do that, we get some good reputation with YouTube. So those people were asking me, how do I become one of the first 20? I think just to pay, because by asking, I think you're actually getting late to become one of the first 20. I think you're actually delaying to be one of the first 20. Just to pay, if you want to be part of the first 20, I'll offer you the 2 hours free consultation for free. Just pay right now. And definitely we're going to inform you at the end of the day right now today that are you in the first 20 or not, okay? And if maybe we have a lot of people who paid together, like say in the same hour, maybe I'll also be lenient and then it's just stretch it to the other 5 or the other 4 who were not necessarily the first 20, but also they were part of the 20. All right. I think we are done here, guys. I'm not seeing any other questions. All the best in your endeavors, all the best in trying to get a green card in the United States of America. So follow our YouTube channel. We'll be giving you more things. We'll be giving you more information. And may God richly bless you. Bye-bye for now.